All righty, fellas, what's going on? Week 7, fantasy football starts and sits. You guys know what we do around here. We're going to kick things off, as we always do, with our superlatives of the week, locks, underdogs, going nuts picks, safe plays of the week, and then we will get into all of your fantasy football questions, hammer out everything that you guys need to know for this week. So let's kick things off, Danny. Let's go through our locks of the week. I got the Rams -3. This week going up against the Steelers. To me, they're just a much better football team, especially now that Cooper Kupp is back. You see the Rams offense, they're able to kind of move the ball against anybody. The Steelers, I mean, how many times, I swear to God, how many times this season has the Pittsburgh Steelers scored more than like 10 offensive points, legitimately?
They may actually be one of the worst teams in the NFL, but because they've won a couple close games, the record isn't indicative
Well,
of
yeah,
them.
their defense is probably one of the better units in the league.
But
That's pretty much why, and their special teams, they're well coached on defense and in general as a team. But their offense is so
yeah,
anemic that I don't see them moving the ball at all against the Rams, which is
no,
why at home, like 3-point favorites
I
for the
agree.
Rams. They're saying this is a pick 'em right now, basically in Vegas. So for me with the Rams, like I think they should be 6 or 7-point favorites in this game.
Oh, I completely agree. Basically, the sidebar I was basically saying here is that I think the Steelers may be the most overrated team in the NFL right now. Like, if people think that they're a legitimate, like, fringe playoff threat, they're closer to being a first pick caliber team than they are a legitimate playoff team, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I think that like Pickett has been one of the bottom 3 quarterbacks in the NFL this year.
yep,
Like Desmond Ritter and Zach Wilson, like he's like right there with them in terms. And Zach Wilson's actually been better in
yeah,
recent weeks than what Kenny Pickett has shown so far this season. Maybe Deontay Johnson will turn that around a little bit, but you also lose Pat Fryermuth now. He's on IR for a couple weeks, so I mean you can't run the ball. You can't pass the ball more than 5 or 10 yards. How are you going to move the ball against this Rams defense that's been top 10 pretty much in every passing category? So that's my lock of the week. Rams -3. Who you got?
My lock of the week is actually be Miami +3 on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles this week. I understand it, very contentious game. Eagles on at home, 5-1 team. I just think Miami's playing better football at this current point. The way I'm seeing this Miami offense versus compared to even the Eagles offense, who I think is probably a top 5 unit, like I think Miami's offense may just be a tier above everybody else's at this current point in the year. They have the speed. Quarterbacks playing well. Obviously, what Mike McDaniel's scheming up has been absolutely ridiculous. And I just think they have the pieces to be able to take advantage of what's been a weak Eagles back end. Like the Eagles passing defense has not been great this year. They've let teams hang around that should not even remotely be in the same ballpark as the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think it comes back to bite them this week. We saw kind of bite them this past week against the Jets, kind of play lackadaisical, end up losing that game against the Jets. Guess what? Miami is not the New York Jets. Miami, if you do not lock in defensively, they can put up 45 on you in an instant.
Yeah, I like that one so much that they're my underdog pick of the week. I
Yep,
think the
I like
Dolphins
that.
outright win this game. So if you guys are looking for some good money lines to go after, I think the Dolphins money line against the Eagles, they have a good home field advantage. It'll be a tough environment to play in,
100%.
and that's why they're probably laying 3 points to the Dolphins, and that's why they're underdogs in this game because I mean neutral site, this is a pick 'em probably. So I actually do like the Dolphins for the same reasons you kind of outlined. I think that they're a more complete offense. Their defense will probably give up points to the Philadelphia Eagles, which is
For
something
sure.
that if we look at like, let's rank the units in this game, the Miami Dolphins defense
By
is
far.
probably the worst unit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think the Miami Dolphins offense is probably the best unit. So could they balance out and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's my underdog pick of the week. Of course, check out our sponsors over at Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code FSE for 100% match back up to $500 still for a limited time. Who do you got as your underdog pick of the week this week?
Yeah. So my underdog pick of the week this week is actually a 5.5 point road favorite. And it's more so just off the precipice of this is a division rival matchup. I'm not going to pretend like I know more than I do. The Chargers are 5.5 against the Chiefs right now. And realistically, we've seen every single year the Chargers are able to play the Chiefs close, whether it's a late field goal type of game, whether it's, the Chargers just winning outright against the Chiefs. The Chargers played the Chiefs better than maybe any team in the NFL, barring maybe the Raiders a couple years ago where they would just steal a game off them every now and then. The Chargers have the quarterback. The Chargers have the offensive personnel, and they're coming off a big emotional loss on Monday Night Football against the Cowboys. I just think this is a get right spot. And obviously, it's tough picking against the Chiefs at home. It's tough picking against Patrick Mahomes. But if any quarterback and in any offense is going to unseat it, I think it's going to be Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I mean the coaching matchup's kind of challenging because you could
100%.
probably bet your bottom dollar that Brandon Staley will get out coached because he pretty much does every single week. But at the same time, 5.5 is a lot of wood to lay there. I think like
Desperate
a
team.
3-point game or something like that is probably what you're looking at. Plus, I mean, just mathematically, a 5.5 point dog gives you the leeway that they could
Well,
lose by,
it's my
a
underdog straight up.
touchdown and, 4 points or 3 points. Like mathematically, it makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense to bet on
Well,
teams that are 5.5 point underdogs.
Well, this is my underdog team straight up. Like I just like the odds. I think that this realistically can come down either way. Now, do I favor the Chiefs on an even playing field? Absolutely. But when I'm getting 5.5, I'm willing to get a little bit gutty here, knowing that the odds are in my favor when I want to bet the Chargers straight up. I think this should be closer to like a 3.5, 4 line because I do think the Chargers are desperate in this game. They need to win. If they lose this game, they're 2-4. They're probably not looking for a playoff spot. Brandon Staley's already on the hot seat. Like if they beat the Chiefs and they get back to 3-3. The Chargers season might just be saved.
Yeah, it's definitely a get right spot or a big time must win game for them. So let's get into our going nuts picks, of course, presented by Manscaped. Use promo code Bush for 20% off plus free shipping. Tyler Lockett against the Arizona Cardinals. This guy owns the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes.
So that's why I'm going with him. DK Metcalf's coming into the game with, bruised ribs and, hip injury or whatever. Everybody's touting it. I've seen a lot of people say it in the chat already. Is it Jackson Smith and Jigba week? No, it's Tyler Lockett week. He's going for like 35 today. So again, with our going nuts picks, again, let me know what you guys think I should get in terms of a point total if Tyler Lockett goes for over 20 plus PPR points. So is it a bold prediction, 3 points? Medium prediction, 2 points, or a not so bold prediction, 1 point. So leave me your ratings down below in the chat, and then Danny, I'll let you get go into yours as well.
It's funny because mine is very similar to Tyler Lockett. Big explosive player down the field, a little bit volatile on a week-to-week basis, but I'm going to ride with Amari Cooper this week at Indianapolis. Very, very advantageous matchup this week. We've seen what opposing wide receivers have been able to do to that secondary all year. And with Deshaun Watson coming back, I do think that that's going to give a lot more upside to Amari Cooper. We saw Amari Cooper in the 2 games that Deshaun Watson was healthy back in week 2 and week 3, 24 PPR points, 16 PPR points. I think with the matchup with Watson back, he's going to get back to close to, 10, 11 plus targets and end up giving you a 20 plus PPR point performance. So, I honestly, like, bias aside, if I were to objectively analyze these, I think they're both kind of probably in the 2 range. But at the same time, like, let's see what Chad kind of devies up, because knowing how the chat's kind of worked out, I'll probably get a 1 and you'll get a 3.
Well, I'm getting ones already, but
Really?
Tyler Lockett against the Cardinals. What do you guys think? That's a 1-pointer, a 2-pointer, a 3-pointer, and then Amari Cooper against the Indianapolis Colts. What do you guys think that is? A 1-pointer, a 2-pointer, or a 3-pointer? Just leave your ratings down below. And then we will close this out, of course, with our safe picks presented by Aura. Link down below in the description for that 14-day free trial to the best cybersecurity you guys will find anywhere. We both went with Washington Commanders players, which is interesting. So I went with Terry McLaurin against the New York Giants. He's expected to see some shadow coverage against Adoree Jackson, who's been horrible this year. And Terry McLaurin, I feel like when you think a Terry McLaurin game is coming, then a Terry McLaurin game is coming. So all these guys have to do is finish inside the top 24 of their position to be considered a safe play. I don't see a world where Terry McLaurin doesn't have like 8 for 75. Maybe he gets into the end zone type of day.
Yeah, I mean, my very similar theme, obviously going with a fellow Commander in my safe play of the week, but I would be extremely shocked if Brian Robinson was an RB2 on this, or wasn't an RB2 on this slate. We got the game script going into our advantage. This is one of the few games that I personally would favor the Commanders to just be favorites in overall. Brian Robinson's obviously getting a lot of work, especially on the early downs. He's getting a lot of carries on this offense, and if he's going to score a touchdown or 2, it's going to come against this New York Giants defense that realistically hasn't been able to stop a nosebleed.
Yeah, I mean, Commanders -3 is an interesting bet. A lot of the sharps seem to be on the Giants, which I think is odd because it seems like a trap line, because I think at face value, you would say the Commanders are a better football team, but the Giants are at home. It's a divisional matchup. I do think, +3 to the Giants makes some sense there. That one's one I'm just not touching with a 10-foot pole. Like, honestly, I don't really know what to do with that spread. But anyways, those are superlatives of the week. Of course, now we can get right into your guys' questions. What's up?
Just for back to the going nuts picks, make sure you put, so for Bush, Lockett, whatever point total. For me, Cooper, whatever point total, just so we can get those populated in the chat and we can evaluate those appropriately.
Yep, for sure. So let's get into the supers that we got off the top here. We got one from Hunter. He says trade Waddle and Gibbs for Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet, 2 and 4. What's up?
Waddle and Gibbs.
Yeah, Waddle versus Walker is probably a conversation point straight. So the fact that you're getting Gibbs instead of Charbonnet is something that's going to really help you out. And if you're 2 and 4, I would imagine you're probably not in a position where you have a lot of depth or whatever, or something like that. So I'm cool going with the Waddle and Gibbs side. But if you're giving away Waddle and Gibbs, then hold. But yeah, Waddle and Gibbs side on that side of the trade there.
Yep.
Christian Watson breakout week. It's funny you mentioned that because he's really my going nuts player. So I do think that we could get a big game from Christian Watson. He is expected to see a lot of Patrick Surtain.
Start of the week, you mean?
The way that they've deployed Surtain is that he stays on the left side of the field. Even though he's a shadow matchup by like alignment, they're going to move Watson around enough that he'll probably get some work away from Surtain. And literally every other Broncos secondary member outside of Justin Simmons is pretty exploitable. So I think Christian Watson should be in for a pretty good day today.
By the way, so in terms of the chat, what they're giving the scores, I'm assuming this is one for each, 2 for each. And we got now that one that's 3 for both. So we literally have
we're gonna need more of a sample size here. So Tyler Lockett, how many points is it? 1 point, not bold, 3 points, really bold, 2 points, moderately bold, and then Amari Cooper going over 20 plus PPR points is the reference point that we have there. So give us some more of those, and then we'll continue to hammer out some questions. We've got an answer from like every level. One person said 1, one person said 2, one person said 3. Yeah. So HG Keep Grinding says start Waller or Michael Mayer, Josh Downs or Jamison Williams. So for me at tight end, I'm probably going to roll with Waller, even though Michael Mayer and him are probably really close. If Garoppolo was playing, I think I go with Mayer there, but we got Hoyer and Tyrod Taylor. I think I just trust the guy that's been a little bit more involved in his offense throughout the course of the season. Michael Mayer, while there was a lot of great signs last week, it also wouldn't totally shock me if Austin Hooper kind of ate back into his workload again.
Yeah, so currently I actually have Darren Waller as my tight end 9 and Michael Mayer as my tight end 10. So I would prefer Waller, but I'm extremely high on Michael Mayer. And if he has another week where he gets that type of utilization, he's probably a top 6 or 7 lock rest of the season, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh no, I would love to see that, man, because I got so much Michael Mayer in rookie drafts as well as in underdog drafts as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Downs or Jamison Williams. I mean, until Jamison Williams actually does, runs more than 10 routes on his team's offense, I can't put him in my lineup. Like, he got lucky last week and he caught a long touchdown, but Josh Downs is a full-fledged starter for his team, so I'm going Josh Downs.
For sure. Official, he says here, appreciate that. Algier or Keontae Ingram, no more Zach Evans. I think I have Algier higher.
A lot of people on the running back tier list commented, where's Keontae Ingram? And honestly, I think it was an oversight on my part because he wasn't even in my top 35 in that video. And I actually have Keontae Ingram moved up to 24 now. And I moved Zach Evans since down quite a bit lower than where I had him because I think in that video I had Evans at 23. But then we got a report today that Darrell Henderson and Royce Freeman are going to get the bulk of the carries. So if you had to start a Rams running back, I have Darrell Henderson at 26 of the highest of all Rams running backs right now. Royce Freeman at 30, and then Zach Evans at 31. But I don't really want to start any of those guys. But with Keontae Ingram, my thought process and why I have him ranked pretty aggressively right now is that the Seattle Seahawks are, a moderate run defense. And also Keontae Ingram was coming off of a multi-week injury last week, and he led the team with a lot of carries and that kind of thing. I think this will be a relatively close game, even though it's a 7.5 point spread for the Seahawks. It's a divisional matchup. I think Keontae Ingram has a chance to get 15, 20 touches in this game. And, DeMercado last week when they were losing big, he was the pass catching back. And if this game's close, I think Keontae Ingram is the guy that you want. And also, again, coming into the year, if James Conner had gotten injured, what would we have said the handcuff was? We would have said Keontae Ingram, right?
Yes.
And him coming off of a multi-week absence last week and still putting up the snap share that he put up, I think speaks volumes about his role. And I think he'll probably be closer to a 50 to 60% snap share guy. I could be wrong on that. He's definitely a risky play, but I personally prefer Keontae Ingram here.
That's why I'm so glad that you handle running backs on a week-to-week basis and I handle wide receivers, because trying to predict certain backfields when this shit happens, I do not envy you. The
backfield and the Cardinals backfield are really difficult, as would the 49ers backfield have been had McCaffrey been out, but it looks like he's going to play.
Meanwhile, when I'm dealing with injuries at wide receiver, I just shuffle the fucking order because realistically, Tyreek Hill getting hurt isn't going to suddenly magically vault up Cedric Wilson's value.
Yeah, exactly.
What wide receiver?
It doesn't matter at wide receiver, and maybe in a couple circumstances it would vault a guy up a little bit, but for the most part, it doesn't really mean much.
I mean, heck, Quentin Johnson literally saw his biggest competition for his role get hurt on the year, and the guy can't command snaps over Josh Palmer. Or there's another wide receiver that's been playing with him in terms of snaps.
Quentin Johnson might be a lost cause at this point. I'm a little nervous about that. Omar says 12-team PPR start to Foreman, Algier, and Murray. So Foreman is a clear start here. He's getting a pretty solid workload. Who's your other guy here? Because I have Algier and Murray quite close.
I have Lott the lowest.
You have Latavius Murray the lowest. I actually have Murray
I
at
just
35 and Algier at 36.
so
So
technically on my rankings, I had Latavius, I think 2 spots higher. But the more I'm looking at it right now, I would start Tyler Algier. For the record, going in going on my rankings, they were I think 31 and 33 respectively between Algier and Murray. But I would start Tyler Algier. I would.
yeah, dude, running back is such a. I guarantee a lot of the questions we're going to get are going to be
Dude,
running back related, just because
disgusting.
with all, I mean, we got Tony Pollard on bye, Breece Hall on bye, Joe Mixon
6
on
teams
bye.
on bye.
There's so many guys on bye. Plus, we have all these backfields that had a bunch of injuries, and we don't know what to make of them. And a lot of people are going to have questions about Foreman and Reynolds and all these type of guys and Evans and. It's going to be a mess. But anyways, I would go Foreman and Murray personally. But Algier's a decent play as well.
And like Spicy said in the comments, please don't spam your question more than once, because I see a couple people. I'm not going to name names, but I see a couple people in the comments right now saying the same shit 3, 4, 5, 6 times. We're not going to get to your question anytime sooner. It's either going to be in the order that you guys come into the chat and comment in the chat, or it's going to be if you guys super chat, you'd be able to skip the order. So just saying that right now, because I see a lot of people that are probably just going to start getting upset if we don't get to their comments soon. And
yeah,
that's
we go through the supers when they come in, and then at the beginning of the chat, we'll go back up to the top of the order. So let's spam through some here. We got one super sticker from Cody Rich. Do you see his comment anywhere?
Let me just see, Cody, if you do have. Oh, I do see a comment here. Okay. Cody says Goff or Stafford. I think Goff might keep it going. Baltimore D has been good, but I think they haven't played anyone significant.
I like Stafford over Goff this week. I think both guys are pretty solid plays. Goff has been really good, as Cody kind of points out here. But Stafford, with his full arsenal of weapons against a better matchup than like Goff is going up a really tough matchup. It's on the road against Baltimore. I personally prefer Stafford.
Okay. Bush, really, as the guy who has Matthew Stafford at 10 and Jared Goff.
Oh, I have to update my rankings one last time.
No. I'm saying me. I literally have Stafford over Goff.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
Okay, I'll get the supers. You have where we left off, so just keep a chat. Hey guys, keep up the great work. Appreciate that, Carlos. Do you have a comment? I'll quickly skip to it for you, or is he just?
I mean, he super chats every single week. I'm sure if he's got one, he can just type it in and we'll skip
for sure. Yeah, if you have a comment, feel free to leave it. I'll get to it. I appreciate the kind words, brother. We left off at where? Oh, okay, here. Alfredo, I'm 5-1. Start 2 standard. Christian Watson, Jordan Addison, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs. Right off the bat, I know that Watson and Pittman are in my lineup. Straight up.
I would start Addison over Pittman.
You want to make a bet right now? Standard?
Yeah, we could do that in standard.
Yeah, I love Jordan Addison, but it's just the matchup, man. I think Minnesota is going to get demolished.
Yeah, I mean, you don't think the Browns defense are going to clamp Pittman though?
Fair.
I'm way more scared of the Browns defense than I am against the 49ers for fantasy wide receivers, not just like in general, but like for fantasy wide receivers, the Browns defense has been nails.
Yeah, no, and I agree, but at the same time, I don't know. I just think Pittman overall rest of the season is probably a tier above than Addison for me. So
that's fair, but I trust Kirk Cousins to get the ball. Like even in a tough matchup, I trust Kirk Cousins a lot more than I trust Gardner Minshew.
No, that's fair. Again, I would still go Pittman just because I think the targets are just too tough to deny. But because it's a standard, you want to lean on the big play. I don't hate that.
Yeah, that's not
like
bad.
If this was a PPR, it'd easily be Pittman for me. But
I would take Pittman in PPR too.
Yeah, because it's a standard, I don't mind that.
Yeah, Jonnu Smith, tight end premium, or Josh Palmer in the flex 14 team.
Palmer looks good, man.
He does look good. The Chiefs are quite strong against fantasy wide receivers, 100%. So I will say that. But I think we got a pretty high-scoring game environment, so I think I'd roll with Palmer as well.
They're my underdog pick of the week for a reason. I need the receiving talent to show up.
Yeah, well, I mean, other than Keenan Allen, talent is a strong word to use for the Chargers wide receivers. I mean, Palmer's looked okay, but like QJ is just probably not going to do anything.
I think Palmer's a pretty good player, man.
Yeah, he's an okay player. Yeah, he's not bad. CeeDee Lamb and Rashad White for Cooper Kupp. I want Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, it's Cooper Kupp. Like I'm a CeeDee Lamb fan, and yeah, it's Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp's a machine, dude.
Cooper Kupp's top 4.
Najee, McLaughlin, Henderson, Jeff Wilson, Ingram. Need one for my RB2. This is a bold. I have Keontae Ingram the highest of this group.
You actually caused me to raise Ingram up in my rankings because you made a good point.
This is a tough call because I think Darrell Henderson also has a pretty good case to be started, as does Jeff Wilson, because Jeff Wilson coming back in a position where he's been a full practice all week, so I don't anticipate he's going to be very limited. in this Dolphins-Eagles game. It's supposed to be a high-scoring game environment. It wouldn't shock any of us if Jeff Wilson punched in a touchdown or whatever. I would go with Keontae Ingram, but I think the upside play is probably Jeff Wilson.
So in our listener league, I'm 5-1. I'm trying to get to 6-1 this week. And on the Sunday night game, I have Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, and Jeff Wilson in the lineup. So that'll be fun to watch. That'll be fun to watch. I also have two Chiefs as well, Isaiah Pacheco and Rashee Rice in the lineup.
Yeah. I have to start. It's funny because the one thing I will say about my Keontae Ingram love is that I actually do have to start him in my home league. So maybe you're getting a little bit of a confirmation bias out of me right now. I'm curious what you would do here. I have Keontae Ingram versus Justice Hill as my start sit decision because I'm still trying to tread water without A-Chain.
I go Justice
as my RB2 spot.
I'd go Hill.
See, I don't want to go Hill for the reason that the Detroit Lions are literally the best defense in the league against fantasy running backs, and also Gus Edwards had 61% of the snaps last week. Maybe it was because they were just kicking the shit out of the Titans, and that's possible. And if it's a closer game or if they're playing from behind, then Justice Hill will get the majority of the work, and I could definitely eat my words on that one. But I think Keontae Ingram has the better workload, and it's a much easier matchup against Seattle.
By the way, so sorry, you pointed out Jeff Wilson. Now he's in my mind because I have him in like basically every home league or every redraft league this year. It's kind of joke. So I'm doing the cheese. You know when somebody comes off IR, but you set your lineup before the news gets broken on Twitter on Sleeper, so you could just like have an extra player on your roster, and you don't have to set your lineup, so the matchup implications don't even matter. So right now, like my lineup is set with Wan'Dale Robinson, Josh Palmer in my flexes, and Deontay Foreman at my RB spot. But then I'm like looking at it, I'm like, okay, I wouldn't start Michael Wilson, I wouldn't start Jeff Wilson, I wouldn't start Gibson, I wouldn't start Reynolds, etc. So I may as well just hold a free Leonard Fournette in case this guy just signs randomly on a Monday.
Yeah, I'm still holding Kyler, and I'm hoping I've had a couple people in my league now.
I picked him up.
Ask me like what I want for him, and I'm glad that's happening because I have Josh Allen. Like I'm not going to use Kyler Murray. So I picked him up when right after the draft. I was like, we have an IR spot, and I forgot about it. So I literally picked up Kyler Murray and I threw him there. And
I picked him up last week.
Get on my IR spot for 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks.
I picked him up last week. I just put him on my IR literally last week. I had an extra bench spot.
Your league mates are throwing, dude. I would have had him on my IR spot the entire season.
So someone dropped him, I think. Let me just take a look. I think nobody picked him up, I guess. Wow, that's pretty crazy to me.
Yeah. Neil says Love or Stafford. I would go with Stafford, but I don't mind Jordan Love as well. He's got a really good matchup.
Yep.
Rice or KJ Osborne. You got to lean between those two guys.
Rice.
Yeah. I want to see what has the usage been for Rashee Rice? Like, is he
it's been encouraging.
Has it been a good allotment of routes at least? I'm looking it up right now.
It's been increasing, bro.
So Rashee Rice dude, he's only running. He set a season high this past week with 50% of the routes. Like he's really not out there very much.
And for sure, but he's been so efficient on them.
He's 30% targets per route run is hella encouraging. We need a game with Rashee Rice where he gets 80% of the routes, because if that happens, then he's going to be an every week starter based on how he's playing.
This week, he's a top 40 wide receiver for me on a week-to-week basis right now, playing 50% of the routes. If this guy is able to get a full route allotment, he'd be a top 25 wide receiver. Based on
how has he not gotten that already? Is my question. There's nobody on the Chiefs wide receiver core that can do anything outside of Rashee.
Playing it cautious with rookies, not trying to rule their fucking. I don't know. It's just a bunch.
They need him out. He's their best receiver, man. They need him out there, which is surprising because I didn't think he was a very good prospect, but he's been
good,
really
man.
solid.
He's looked good, man. Honest to God, he literally leading the fucking Chiefs wide receivers in receiving yards right now, playing less than 50% of the snaps on the season.
Can't imagine there's anybody higher than him right now. He's consistently getting a couple of targets a game.
Yeah, so he had 72 last week, playing the Chargers this week. If you even get up to 65% of the routes against the Chargers, you're probably looking at 15 fantasy points, to be honest.
It actually irritates me that all Sky Moore had to be is
a good player.
A good player. Dude, if you dropped, this is probably a great player, honestly, but if you dropped Christian Kirk on the Kansas City Chiefs, he might be a top 6 receiver in fantasy right now.
Dude, he'd be 1,300 yards. Yeah.
That's what I mean. We don't need
Stafford.
We didn't need Sky Moore to be elite. We needed him to be a solid player, and he can't do that.
By the way, you agree Stafford over Love?
Yes, I do.
Flo, he says PPR 1 flex, Deontay Johnson, McLaughlin, Jeff Wilson.
I'll take Deontay in PPR.
Yeah. Though I do like Jeff, but yeah, it's Deontay. Warren versus the Rams or Jeff Wilson versus the Eagles?
I have Warren higher, so I personally go with Warren. The upside play is definitely Jeff Wilson, though.
I have Warren higher. Yeah, I do like Jeff though, but yeah. JT or Cook this week. Thoughts on Andrews rest of the season? I
I'm
think
going Jonathan
I've
Taylor over James Cook for sure.
JT at 12, Cook at 14 for me. Give me JT.
Yeah,
Thoughts
and
on
then
Andrews
thoughts on Andrews rest of the
clear tight
season.
end
I
too.
mean, he's a top 3 tight end for the rest of the year. Like he's
Clear tight end too, in my opinion.
I mean, we have a bet on Hawkinson versus Andrews rest of the season.
Yeah.
I personally prefer Hawkinson rest of the year. Just without Jefferson in the lineup, I think the targets will really start to come Hawkinson's way.
Yep. Happy Sunday. How are we feeling about Deontay Johnson today? Need a flex currently. Have Brian Robinson at flex with JSN, Poopy Najee on the bench. Also just traded Bijan and Hopkins for Puka and ETN. GG. Yeah, so talk about the trade real quick. As much as I love Bijan Robinson, you can tell me I think ETN is probably just behind.
Yeah, ETN and Bijan are probably neck and neck rest of the season, to be honest.
And then Puka is just so much bigger than
like probably 2 or 3 tiers ahead of DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, that's not close. So great deal there. I don't mind Deontay Johnson. I want to play a little bit more cautious.
I would rather play Brian Robinson. He says
Yeah.
currently have so he says Brian Robinson at flex right now. Would you let me ask you this. Would you play Smith and Jigba if Metcalf was out over both Brian Robinson and Deontay?
Yes, I would raise him. He would probably be a top 28 wide receiver, top 27 wide receiver.
I think I would still play Brian. I have Brian Robinson as my RB 14 on the week. Like I think he's a really solid play this week.
Huh?
Brian Robinson. I have him as a top 15 running back this week. I think he's really solid.
Yeah, for sure. But we have where we left off here, so we can.
So we're all the way back up to the top of the order, all the way back to Cody at 11:31 a.m. We're gonna do our best by the end of the stream to try and get to 12 p.m. if we can. Good morning, fellas. What's going on? It's actually
Addison.
We took too long to answer.
Ramondre. Addison Ramondre.
I would go with Addison here.
Oh, that's close.
PPR, I tend to lean wide receivers. I like
tough matchup for Ramondre. Yeah, I'd go Addison.
Yeah. What would you add in Superflex Dynasty to get from Fields to Kyler? I'd be willing to give up a late first round pick.
Without hesitation.
Yeah, I saw Jax Falcone tweeted out his like dynasty quarterback rankings, and he still had Fields as like QB9. I'm like, dude, we're like,
can we not have take lock, please? Yeah, can we not have take lock, please?
Yeah, like I get it. Justin Fields was like a highly decorated fantasy asset going into the year, but like this guy actually might not have a starting job next year. Like he cannot be over Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, talk about quarterback landscape. I had to make a little reference to college yesterday. I just remember that you bet the JJ McCarthy under yards, and he literally hit it in the first half.
Oh yeah,
you bet the under, right?
I didn't.
JJ McCarthy. Didn't you say your
unders? I said I would bet it if I was betting it, but I didn't actually.
Oh, I thought you did, dude.
No, I just missed. So I put a bet down on Houston to cover the spread, which they did. They almost fucking won the game, and then
UCF.
Quinn to have less than 3 passing touchdowns. It was looking sketchy at first because he had 2 in the first quarter, but then he got hurt and didn't play the rest of the game, and also he just couldn't score a passing touchdown to save his life.
I saw the hit too. What happened to him?
I had Jatavian Sanders over 39.5 receiving yards, and he had 29.
Pain. I thought you bet the Oklahoma spread against UCF too.
No, I didn't. I talked about. I was like, I think I like UCF to cover the spread, though, is what I said.
It looked good. They lost by a field goal.
I mean, they almost won the game too,
or lost by 2-point conversion. Sorry.
Also, fucking what the hell is USC doing, man?
Dude, they are. I told you Utah was going to win.
Also, I told you Penn State's a fucking fraud.
Dude, their offense is way worse than I thought they would look.
I knew they weren't good, man. I knew they weren't good.
I mean, it was 20-12 ended up, but like at the same time, Ohio State's defense completely took over.
Yeah, I mean, they were really good yesterday, but
Ohio State versus Michigan is going to be fun. I think
also,
Ohio
did
State.
somebody lose yesterday that I was
big time player team. So Florida State won 38-20. They were down a little bit to Duke. What other teams are we thinking of? 6,
Is
7,
Florida State
7,
the 4 seed right now? If the season ended today,
they're the 4 seed right now. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I think they're a little bit overrated.
They're a little bit overrated, but they're better than Oklahoma.
They're better than Oklahoma. Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be like the other logical 4 seed.
Yeah, I mean UNC lost. That's who the team that lost.
Yes,
UNC lost to Virginia.
Lost. That's who it was.
To 1-5 Virginia.
Yeah, dude. I saw somebody tweet out it was like the first time Virginia's beaten a top 10 team in their history.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, Jesus, that's brutal.
By the way, so I talk real quick, and then we'll get back to questions because I don't want to spend too long because I know people are looking for the questions answered. But JJ McCarthy had like 250 passing yards in the first half. They were up 35-0 at half, and then literally like this guy hasn't played a fourth quarter all year, and we're literally fucking almost 10 weeks into the year. I think we're what 8 games in. He hasn't played a fourth quarter.
Yeah,
They
like
won
that's why I can't be
49-0.
like, dude, this guy's a first round quarterback. This guy, his team is so
Dude,
dominant that he doesn't have to play in the
bro,
fourth quarter.
But what I say when you watch the games, man, he makes fucking throws that
Oh
like
yeah, he looks good. I saw Ian Cummings put out a 7-round mock
dude,
draft today, and he had him going
top 10.
7th overall to the
Yeah.
Vikings.
Dude, there's real like top 10 buzz for him right now.
Well, dude, I hope so. Fuck, like I have a million 2024 firsts across a bunch of leagues, so I'll take JJ in the first round. Rolando says he's the underdog. Play 1: Elijah Mitchell, AJ Dillon, Darrell Henderson. I would
Underdog?
like. He also says then. I think this is 2 different questions, but Darrell Henderson would be the guy that I go with.
Over Elijah. Oh,
yeah,
CMC's back.
McCaffrey's
Right.
going to play.
Yeah.
So I would
saw
take
that.
Darrell Henderson here because there's a pretty solid chance he leads the backfield in touches.
I'd go Hendo.
Then Curtis Samuel, Rashee Rice. I go Curtis Samuel there, I think.
I'm only to make a little PPR bet on that. I
Let's
love
do it.
Rashee.
I think that one's
they're
like
close for me,
process
but
over results, kind of, to be honest, because like
What-
Rashee Rice has been like the more
100%.
exciting play. Honestly, Curtis Samuel's been really good though the last couple weeks. So
and I completely agree with you. The process probably does favor Samuel, but at the same time, dude, I just think Rashee Rice might just be a really good football player. Like the way
Which
he's
is
played this
weird.
year, man. Like he's looked so good. By the way, I just saw a tweet on my timeline. I'm already a Sunday past, and I'm already missing the 9:30 a.m. kickoffs. That's so real. I actually low-key love the games.
I don't know why. For this week specifically, I was kind of glad we didn't get one. I think we have one next week though.
Yeah,
and the week
we got Germany
We have
game,
Germany
right? Miami
games after in week.
Isn't it Miami KC at 9:30 tomorrow or next week?
What?
Yeah,
In Germany?
In Germany.
Oh, that's kind of dope.
I'm like pretty sure it's either this week or the week after.
No, it is. I think you're right. I think it is
Holy
this
shit.
week. That's kind of insane that we got a
that.
9:30 a.m. Kansas City fucking Miami game. Like we couldn't have
Literally-
made that Sunday Night Football.
Dude, literally a game that's going to decide whether or not like who might get the
Who
one
gets, like
seed
the
in the
one
conference.
seed. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, 9:30 a.m. international series.
Yeah, that's
Miami-
hilarious.
Miami versus.
Also, dude, when I'm going. I don't think I've told the audience this. I'm going to be in Mexico during week 9. I'm going for a couple days. So I looked at because last time we were in Mexico was in January, and we watched the AFC and NFC championship in Mexico. But the problem this week is I'm like, oh, what are the games like while we're in Mexico this time? And it's like Monday Night Football is like Raiders, Lions, and then like Thursday Night Football is Steelers and Titans or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck is that, dude? Like that's brutal.
Yeah, for real.
Anyways, Rolando's okay, we already answered his question. I think we got some supers to get back to. Arlo had a question as well.
I'll look for that real quick.
Super sticker. You got it?
Arlo, Rice, JSN, Wandale, Gibbs, sit one. You're sitting Wandale.
I'm not sitting Wandale over Rice. I would sit Rice.
We already have a Rice bet, but
we do. Wandale gets targets, so I'm gonna roll with Wandale.
Sure, for the Giants, man.
I know, but Tyrod looked okay. You know, it's an easier matchup this week. The Commanders are pretty bad against the pass. I think Wandale can do some work.
Dude, this is the complete usage versus situation fucking like bet, pretty much.
I think Wandale is a really solid option this week. He had
one too. Top 45 wide receiver
in like their matchups article, and they were like his slot matchup is cake. Like the Commander slot corner is horrible.
You're preaching to the choir. I have him starting in my home league this week, so I do like.
I traded him away in my home league this week. I traded Wandale. Okay, because the reason I did it is because I literally didn't have any running back 2 options this week. Like I was going to be starting Antonio Gibson, so I traded Wandale away for Justice Hill and Keontae Ingram.
Oh yeah, fair. I thought you were going to say
the trade that I ended up making.
I thought you were going to say Alexander Madison because that's how you're trying to get Maddie.
Oh, dude, I wish. I mean, I don't like Madison sucks, but like a solid RB2 that I could start every week, I could actually really use that right now because A-Chain getting hurt has fucked me sideways.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Who to flex? Rashad White, AJ Dillon, or Romeo Dobbs? I'm taking Rashad White there with these.
Yeah, I'm not even a White fan, but What can I get for Kyler Murray? Hit the like guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, 204 watching. Let's hope to get at least triple digit likes.
There's
and
probably like
continue to
30
ask.
likes on the
Yeah.
stream, which is probably
We,
piss.
we,
So
we can get triple digits. We can get triple digits. What can I get for Kyler Murray? It's very tough to say knowing or not knowing your league dynamic, not knowing what your market's looking like. Do people hold 2 or 3 quarterbacks? Is there a real quarterback market, assuming it's a single quarterback league? I kind of need to know that stuff on top of the fact that we haven't seen him play this year. So I doubt
I
it's
would
going to
probably
be
wait.
very
Like, I don't
high.
think you should sell him yet. I think you should
Yeah.
wait until he's actually active, especially if you're in a casual league. People just want to know that he's usable. I would say the type of trade that I'm intending on making with Kyler Murray, because I have him, is so let's say I have my like DK Metcalf. I'll take DK Metcalf and Kyler Murray and go after
upgrade
a slightly
CeeDee
better
Lamb.
receiver than DK Metcalf. You know what I mean?
Maybe
Like
you
I'll
go
go
after
after
like
a
CeeDee
Olave
Lamb.
or something.
Yeah, for sure. Courtney, appreciate that. Need a quarterback to stream deep league. Carr, Mayfield, or take a long shot on Tyrod against the Manders, considering how he performed against the Bills. I believe I have Mayfield the highest. I mean, it's kind of hard to say Carr because he already played, but I'm just gonna go Mayfield because that's Carr already played.
Yeah,
So
Carr did already play. So yeah, give me Mayfield there. I think I have Baker as like a top 18 quarterback this week. Like he's
so do I. He's quarterback 17 for me.
Yeah.
Where is he for you?
I think he's at 17 also.
Let's go. Let's ride. Thoughts on Cole? Should I have him? No. I don't. Unless we just see him randomly just lead the Chiefs in snaps and like looks good and like I don't know.
If you guys want to make a
don't
little
buy
bet
it.
today, Wan'Dale
What?
Robinson's alternate receiving yards of 50 plus is plus 220 on FanDuel right now.
Yeah, but he might need 10 catches to get there. No, I'm
He
kidding.
might need 10 catches to get there, but he might get 10 catches.
No, I know. I'm trolling.
And all he has to do is break one tackle, and he's going to have like a 26-yard gain on one of his catches, and then he'll get there on the rest of them.
Oh, did you see the uniforms the Colts are rocking today?
Are they nice?
I don't know how I feel about them, to be honest. Indiana Knights alternate uniforms. Okay.
Okay.
You have where we left off though, but
Yeah, I do. We have another super here from Javon, actually. He
Oh,
says,
yeah, I
thoughts
got
on
it.
Mecole.
Yeah,
Should I have
I
him?
read
No,
it.
I just drop him, honestly. He's not fucking worth anything.
I literally just read it out.
Oh, did you? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
blind. Blind and deaf. Happy Sunday, guys. Happy Sunday, Anthony.
Happy Sunday.
Down bad for an RB2. I feel you, brother. Full PPR,
Yeah.
pick one, Gus Edwards, Keontae Ingram, Darrell Henderson, or Antonio Gibson. So I had a similar situation here in my home league. I don't have Darrell Henderson, but Keontae Ingram would be the guy that I go with here, personally.
Yeah. You don't feel great about any choice you make here, but that's probably the correct choice.
Yeah. I mean, I think Gibson's not a horrible option. Like, I think he's an okay option, but I would prefer Keontae. What's up? JJ is the new Heisman fave. Ew.
Let's go, baby.
One thing that I think is a sneaky bet that I want to look at real quick is I've seen a couple mocks since the game this past weekend on the number 1 overall pick being not Caleb Williams in a number of these mock drafts. And minus 310 for Caleb Williams is the best odds you're going to get on him not going number 1 overall, I think.
Minus 310?
Minus 310 is his odds to go number 1, and I'm pretty sure it was minus 850 before the season.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
Like minus 310 is a half decent odds on Caleb because Caleb's still going 1, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude, 100% he's going 1.
Like I've seen mocks with like Harrison going 1. I've seen mocks with Drake going 1. Like I think he's still going 1.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree.
Especially
dude, wow.
once we get this guy in the fucking pro day circuit and shit. Like you can't seriously tell me with a straight face that people aren't going to take this guy first overall.
Yeah.
As great as Drake is, he's a great quarterback. But
Drake is. I will see. What is good? I don't know. Sorry,
you're losing your mind here.
My
okay,
bad.
so need help with my flex. Deontay Johnson, Cortland Sutton, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Jaden Reed, or Josh Downs. I have Deontay Johnson the highest of this group, but Cortland Sutton would be pretty close behind.
Yeah, I would have.
If Metcalf is out, I would play JSN though, but you're not going to know that before the 1 p.m. kickoff. I'm pretty sure. So, I would play Deontay Johnson in that decision. Actually, the Rams and Steelers play at 4:05, so I would go with Deontay and then maybe pivot to Smith-Njigba if that happens there for you, where Metcalf is out.
The question is Metcalf is in. Are you going Downs? Or
I would go Deontay. I would go Deontay.
No, it's okay, right, fair.
Deshaun or Goff? I'm going Jared Goff there.
Yeah, I would.
I'll take Smith-Njigba.
Same.
What's going on, fellas? My whole team is on bye. Love that. Need a running back to pick up. Justice Hill, Latavius Murray, or Jerick McKinnon. I'll take Justice Hill in that decision.
Agreed.
Pick 3 to start full PPR. Foreman, Wan'Dale, Downs, Elijah Moore, Jalen Warren. So I would go Foreman, Elijah Moore, Wandale Robinson. That would be what I would go with. Full
Yeah.
PPR, I tend to lean towards the receivers. I would, you could go three, just triple stack the 5-9 slots if you wanted to and go Wandale, Downs, and Elijah Moore. But I think
mean,
Foreman's a slightly better projection than Downs is, so I'd go Foreman.
I mean, talking about that type of build, you may as well just put Jalen Warren into that as well. Isn't he like 5'9"?
This is the all 5'9".
Dude, I feel at home, man. I feel at home right now.
Yeah, literally. Me just sitting here waiting for. Okay, so Will, I'm actually not going to bet on every game this week. I'm getting kind of annoyed with my my luck, so I'm going to take a week off. But I did drop a 3-leg parlay of bets that I do like. It was Browns -3.5, over 36.5 points in the Commanders Giants game. I think there'll be some turnovers there, which is why I like that. And then Rams -3, which was my lock of the week. So I took Browns -3.5, Rams -3, and then the over in the Commanders Giants game, and I put a couple of units on that.
All right, fuck! I got to pick up a quarterback in one of my leagues because Joe Burrow's on bye week. You know what? I'll farm this out to the chat. Who you guys? I mean, actually, I know the answer, but Baker Mayfield, Russell Wilson, Josh Dobbs. Oh my God, this is such an ugly wire.
Oh, Baker, 100%.
Yeah, I agree. That's the guy. I'm gonna have to drop Kareem Hunt, which kind of sucks, but like literally my whole bench is on bye, and I'm not dropping Burrow. So,
I might have to make a change in our lineup here.
Oh, dude, do we have Deontay Foreman?
Ron has Craig Reynolds in instead of Justice Hill. I'm starting Justice Hill every day of the week.
We have Deontay Foreman on that team, bro. Did we drop him?
No, we don't.
We must have dropped him. We had him.
We did?
Yeah, 100%. We drafted him.
Oh, true. Yeah, I mean, like our decision point is Justice Hill, Latavius Murray, or Craig Reynolds. To me, Justice Hill is the clear option there, right?
Justice Hill, Latavius Murray, or Craig Reynolds? Yeah, it's Justice Hill pretty easily.
Yeah. Let me just look at
dude, we're getting rinsed by bye weeks this week. Holy Christ, the Bengals.
Yeah, I know. Well, because we have Higgins, Chase, and Burrow, right? And
Devon A-Chain's hurt.
And Devon A-Chain's hurt, yeah.
I think we still might win this week. I'm not gonna lie. I wish this was the week that we got to play against the other guys in the like the top 6 get the win. You know, like last week.
Yeah, I know. That would have been a good week for this week because we literally had the best score last week.
Yeah, for sure. So we got that. We got that. Thoughts on Nicole? Should I have him?
We already answered that too.
Pickens or DJ Moore full point PPR.
Pickens.
I'm still going. Wait, what?
Or sorry, DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. I was going to say.
Both of us are out of it today.
Yeah, for sure. Dan, if you have a super chat, is it not showing up on my end? Spicy, if you have it, feel free to let me know. Yeah, Spicy, can you look for that? It didn't show up on our end. Okay, how is it not showing up?
Anyways, we didn't see that.
We'll our apologies. Sorry about that, Dan. Our apologies. That was 15 minutes ago. Need one in 10-man, London, Sutton, or Lockett. 12-man, Flowers or Laporta. Also start Kirk or pick up Howell, Watson, Baker, Ritter, best of free agent. I think now the thing is, like, if you don't start Kirk, who you dropping to pick up one of those quarterbacks?
Well, I would start Cousins over those guys, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
I would have Howell ranked higher than Cousins.
Really? You have Howell ranked higher than Cousins this week?
I don't want to fuck with...
I'll do that one versus you.
I don't want to fuck with San Francisco on Monday night.
I think the Vikings are capable enough offense to put up points regardless.
Now, real quick, I will say, if you have to drop someone to go pick up Howell, I would just start Cousins and not have to worry about dropping someone. But if you have like an empty bench spot and you can pick up,
well, would you drop Cousins to start him?
No, I wouldn't drop Cousins because I prefer the rest of the season.
Yeah. So I personally would just prefer Cousins there. In terms of the first question, I have Lockett higher than London, who would be the next closest guy there. So I would go with Tyler Lockett this week, but I think London's in a decent spot. The corners that we have match up well with a physical receiver like London. That's why I think the Bucs will be able to handle London a little bit. 12, and he also says Flowers or Laporta in the flex. I think I lean with the wide receiver. I think I would go with Flowers there, but Laporta is a guy that I would love to get in my lineup. Like maybe you have Kelsey or something. I'm not exactly sure how you have both those guys, but if I were you, I would probably try and trade Laporta or try and trade Kelsey or whatever your other tight end is.
I would agree with that. That's a good question though. Wow, you have a good situation there, especially given bye week apocalypse this week. I traded Mike Thomas for Najee. Thoughts? To be honest, I'd rather have Mike Thomas.
Yeah, I would as well.
Yeah,
Dude, Najee ain't worth shit right now. Like I was in trade talks this week to go after Najee Harris from one of my league mates, and I was gonna give up. I think it was Christian Kirk and Tyler Algier for Najee Harris and Gabe Davis because I have Josh Allen, and I was like, I can't do it. Like Christian Kirk is a lot better than Gabe Davis, but even if I thought they were relatively comparable because I have Allen, I was like, I actually almost prefer Algier to Najee Harris, legitimately, even though Algier's not even a starter. Like the upside that Algier possesses on your bench is so much
the implied
higher
value
than
with
Najee
some
Harris.
standalone.
Like it's so much higher than Najee Harris, and neither of them was going to really see my lineup, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I don't hate that. By the way, so Dan has a follow up from that. He says that he has Hawk and Laporta, but this league doesn't trade. So that's something to keep in mind. That is annoying, unfortunately. But yeah, we have. Did I miss one? Yeah, a couple more. Sorry, apologies. I think H is top 5 running back when he returns. I don't think we have any sample size to indicate why he shouldn't.
I don't think he's a top 5 running back, but I think he's absolutely a top 8 to 10 running back, given what we've seen from him.
Yeah, I mean, they're close. Buffalo, Cleveland, Tampa Bay. The Cleveland should not.
Cleveland should be on your roster ASAP because they have a really good matchup this week, and they're probably a hold the whole season.
Yeah, they're probably the best defense in the NFL. Hey guys, straight away, JT and Pittman for Chase and Dameon Pierce last week. I believe he actually DM'd me this. I don't mind that. He was in a good position from a depth standpoint to make this move. New team is Josh Allen, Bijan, Pierce, Amon-Ra, Lamb, Chase, Kittle. Thoughts? Any other moves? Thanks, guys. You have the firepower on any given week to just have 6 separate people that can just break a fantasy week. To be honest.
Yeah,
Kittle, Chase, Lamb,
Bijan, Allen, Amon-Ra, Lamb, Chase, Kittle. They can all just put up monster games.
Yeah, so I like that a lot. I mean, I just think the upside there is massive. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Michael says 2 questions. First, pick one to start in PPR, Amari or Deontay Johnson. So I would go with Amari Cooper in the first question. Second, PPR, pick 2, Christian Watson, Drake London, Chris Godwin. So I think I answered this in one of his comments on one of our recent videos, but I would go with Watson and London and sit Godwin on the bench. Although Godwin isn't a sneaky good matchup with Mike Evans seeing shadow coverage, I still prefer London and Watson, I think.
Yeah. By the way, I see a little bit of like a meme spamming going on in the chat right now, guys. Like, honestly, God, I just don't have the patience to deal with that right now. Like,
I mean, addressing it is your first mistake. Just let Spicy fucking wrench their ass.
Yeah, I mean, Spicy, you have full authority if it continues going on. Dude, it's a Sunday morning. We're trying to get to as many questions as possible right now. I just don't have the patience.
Yeah, need one for my RB2, Hill, Murray, Hendo, or Jeff Wilson. I have Darrell Henderson and Justice Hill literally back-to-back. Where
I go
do you
Hill.
have a lean with those 2 guys?
Give me Justice. And that's not just because we have him in our FFPC. I actually prefer him.
I think I prefer Hill just knowing that his role is a little bit more secure, but I wouldn't be shocked if Darrell Henderson had like 65% of the opportunities for the Rams this week.
For sure. But yeah, you have where we left off, right?
Yep.
We just went through this.
Yeah, you're all stunned.
No, I mean, we actually do have this one, though. Mike Wilson or Kendrick Bourne?
Kendrick Bourne. Full PPR, give me Kendrick Bourne.
I don't know, though, because Wilson just played his most snaps of the year, but
I don't give a shit. It's Kendrick Bourne. Michael Wilson isn't really that good. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he's
been very efficient.
He's getting the reps. He's just not that good. Kendrick Bourne's getting the targets. I mean, he's a better player.
I don't know. Sure. I have Michael Wilson higher, though, for the record.
That's a mistake. We can put that one down. Put it down.
Let's put it down. Full PPR.
Kendrick Bourne or Michael Wilson.
Full PPR.
Traded Bijan for Pollard and Christian Watson. Thoughts? That's a pretty solid move if you needed some depth. Pollard and Bijan, I see a decent difference between those 2 guys, but Christian Watson, I think, is one of the better buy lows in all of fantasy right now.
No, I will say a caveat, even as a Cowboys guy, if this is like a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex league, I probably just hold Bijan knowing the star power. But if this is like 3 wide receivers, 2 flexes, or 2 wide receivers, 2 flexes, and you legitimately need the depth, I don't mind Christian Watson because I think, like Corey said, he's probably one of the best buy lows in fantasy right now.
And then he also said start Jerome Ford or Jeff Wilson. I would prefer Jerome Ford there, Figs.
Yeah. Curtis Samuel or Deontay for flex full PPR. Give me Deontay.
Yeah, I'll take Deontay. Although, again, Curtis Samuel's been pretty solid, so I won't discount him completely, but Deontay Johnson would be my pick there for sure.
Yep. By the way, at 12:45, I'm probably going to set my lineup.
Yeah, that's all good. Also at the end of the stream, like 12:55
Laporta.
or so, I want you guys, and you can even do it now if you want. I'm going to do a fan/chat inspired anytime touchdown parlay. So I'm going to need 4 players to score a touchdown today. And if you can, try and make them not like minus 150 touchdown scores, like no, like Christian McCaffrey. You know what I mean? Like if you guys have some good touchdown scores that are not going to be like heavy favorites to score, drop them in the chat if you think they're going to score today. Especially if you have some like insight because they're your favorite team or whatever. I definitely want to encourage that. So Reese says Laporta or Goddard, leaning Goddard. Thanks. Good luck this weekend. I mean, I don't love having both of those guys. I would try and trade one of them.
Laporta's my answer.
Laporta is my answer as well, especially knowing that the run game is going to be compromised without David Montgomery today. I think they're going to lean more on the pass, so I'll take Laporta.
For sure. Now here's my running backs. Bijan, Najee, Pacheco, then Mixon and AJ are on bye. Yeah, pretty solid core. Obviously, the RB2 spot right now is probably like in flux, but I actually really like Isaiah Pacheco moving forward.
I don't think Isaiah Pacheco is in flux.
I honest to God didn't even see Pacheco when I first said that. I saw Najee, Mixon, and AJ. But Pacheco is actually good, so I like this core.
Yep. Ed says Latavius Murray or Craig Reynolds or Darrell Henderson. Okay, so I would go Darrell Henderson here. That might be a hot take, but I think he has the best chance to get a big workload in this game with Christian McCaffrey probably playing. Like I'm going to go with Darrell Henderson.
Yeah, this is not really much of a decision, to be honest.
If you guys are wondering why I'm so confident that Darrell Henderson's going to get a workload, Adam Schefter put out a report today that he is going to get the bulk of the work. So that's why I'm confident that he's like an RB 26 in my rankings.
James Cook or Jahmyr Gibbs for potential upside. I actually have Gibbs higher.
Yeah, I have Gibbs higher as well. I mean, I know like Cook is a solid option typically.
Tough matchup.
I think it's a tough matchup, and I would just rather have the upside that Gibbs gets more work.
Yeah. Already starting Lamar and Andrews, Hill or Hendo. I have Hill higher still. I would go Hill, and especially because you already have a bet on the offense doing well. I don't mind just putting Hill in there.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that as well. Ford or Henderson, I'm going to Jerome Ford there pretty easily, Justin. Good morning, guys. Wait and see on McCaffrey. McCaffrey's going to play, so you're going to be just fine there, Alex. But I wouldn't mind finding a way to get Javonte Williams into my lineup if you can. JSN breakout today. I think it would hinge on Metcalf being out. I personally am not holding my breath for a JSN breakout personally.
Yeah, for sure.
Watson coming off of injury or Geno Smith today?
Geno.
I'll take Geno, to be honest.
Yeah. I'll take Geno as well.
Drew says conflicted. Had to put Metcalf in my flex. If DK doesn't play, do I go with Rashad White, Deontay Johnson, Wilson Jr.? Okay, so I think you're not going to know on Rashad White because he plays at 1. You are going to know on Deontay. So if I were you, I would just play Metcalf and then pivot to Deontay if you have to.
Or should I bite the bullet now and put in Flowers at the earlier start?
No, I would wait on Metcalf.
Probably agree. Yeah. What time are we at, by the way? Just
11:45.
Okay, so we'll try to get to at least 12.
Yeah, let's go. Goal is at least 12 p.m. on questions here. Gibson or Reynolds? Give me Antonio Gibson there.
Actually,
I think Gibson. Dude, the Giants are horrible.
Bet that right now.
I think B-Rob and Gibson can have decent games in this game.
I'll take Reynolds against your Gibson.
You want to go Craig? You want to bet on Craig Reynolds coming off of an injury who didn't practice most of the week?
Buddy, I don't want to bet on Antonio Gibson. I've had him all year. I know what he does.
He stinks. I know.
Dude, he might get 4 carries.
His stat line every single week is 2 carries for 9 yards and a fumble, 4 targets, 4 receptions, and 36 yards. That's exactly what Antonio Gibson does every single week.
No, bro, the fact that you quoted the fumble is the realest shit I've ever heard, bro.
It's what he does every week, bro.
Dude, he has 3 fumbles in 6 games this year.
Dude, I swear to God, that guy has like 36 fumbles in the last 20 games of his career.
He loves to fumble the ball, bro. He loves it.
My nickname for him on Sleeper is Tony Fumbles.
Bro, for real though. Wait, by the way, okay, so what do you think his max in carries is this year in a game? 4. He had 1 game with 6. You want to know what the other 5 games that he's played, what his carry totals are?
Combined or in per game?
Combined in 5 games.
11.
10.
Yeah.
How do you get 10 carries in 5 games? B-Rob gets 7.5.
He's McKissick now. He's the new JD McKissick.
Dude, Brian Robinson gets 7.5.
Yeah, it's crazy. Michael says, good morning, Kings. Good morning, Michael. Start Mims or Downs. I'm going to go Josh Downs. He's got a more solidified role there.
Is there? Wait.
This is a tough one. What do you think of Nuke's question here? DJ Moore, Zay Flowers, or Addison? I lean Zay Flowers.
I think I have Flowers the highest. Yeah, So I have Flowers at 20, DJ Moore at 23, and Addison at 29.
Yeah, I have it 21, 23, and 27.
Yeah, pretty close. With that being said, Flowers.
Amari Cooper, if Watson plays,
Cooper.
if not start.
Cooper.
Yeah, go with Cooper. And yeah,
Cooper's,
if Watson doesn't play, just roll with Addison, I suppose.
Yeah. We got a super here from Spatty. Sup, fellas? PPR Flex 1, JSN or JMO? To be honest, just JSN. Yeah, you got the implied upside if DK Metcalf sits, and honestly, God, even if DK Metcalf plays, Jameson Williams not a good enough option for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, until Jameson Williams plays more than like 50% of the snaps, I'm pretty much never going to recommend that you start him.
Yeah, for sure. You have where we left off. Stafford, Love,
or Watson.
Stafford.
I have Stafford the highest of this group.
Staff all day, baby.
JSN or Osborne, I'll take JSN there, Josh. Addison or Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith's in your lineup there, Campbell. Jerome Ford, Javonte, or JT. It's got to be JT for me there as well. Yeah. Cooper Kupp, wide receiver 1 with JJ out for 4 to 6 weeks. Which wide receiver to start and flex options? So Cooper, Pittman, McLaurin, Addison, and Myers. You got to start 2 of these guys. So these guys are all relatively in the same range. Cooper Myers is my highest ranked, so he'd be the wide receiver 2. It would come down to Pittman, who I have at wide receiver 28, Addison, who I have at wide receiver 27, and Jacoby Myers, who I actually have the highest at wide receiver 22, and McLaurin, who I have at wide receiver 29. So they're all relatively close, but I think I have Jacoby Myers the highest, so that's probably who I'd roll with.
Wait, what would you say you had Jacoby Myers at?
22.
I'm at 21, so yeah, I agree.
Full PPR, I need help with choosing 2. Sutton, Rashee Rice, Palmer, and Dobbs.
Sutton.
I would go with Sutton and Dobbs, dude. Dobbs has a really good matchup this week.
Oh, man. I would...
It's Palmer in a bad matchup, Rashee Rice on 50% of the snaps, or Dobbs and Sutton, who are full-time players getting the targets in good matchups.
They're all top 40 wide receivers in the 32 to 40 range for me, to be honest.
I have Dobbs at 32, I have Sutton at 33, and then these next 2 guys, I have Rashee Rice at 39, and I have Palmer at 38. So I would go with Dobbs and Sutton there.
I have Sutton 32, Rashee Rice 33, Josh Palmer 36, and Romeo Doubs 39. So
yeah,
hopefully, I apologies that didn't probably answer your question, knowing that I said Sutton and Rice. And did you say Dobbs and Palmer?
I said Dobbs and Sutton. So Sutton's in your lineup.
Start Sutton, and then the rest.
I think, dude, with Watson seeing shadow coverage from Surtain, I think Dobbs is a great start.
Yeah, he's a solid start. Now, with that being said, Rashee Rice looks good.
So, okay, Royce Freeman or Latavius Murray. I think I would roll with Latavius Murray. I know his role is a little bit more solidified. I would roll with him.
It's probably fair. We got a question from Justin. He says Kareem Hunt or Jeff Wilson. I think I have Jeff Wilson higher. Let me take a look. They're both same range. Like, honest to God, you're probably not even gonna know the difference if you start one versus the other.
I would rather start Wilson by a country mile, to be honest.
So I had Hunt higher, but I mean that was also
Hunt came into the game banged up. He wasn't practicing much this week.
Yeah,
and I don't really trust the Browns offense, to be honest. Even with Watson back, I would just rather, even on 30% of the snaps, like both guys will probably get 30% of the snaps, but give me the guy on the Dolphins.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I forgot to include the fact that Hunt was pretty much banged up all week.
And Wilson legit full practice Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Like, he's going to be a full go in this game. I wouldn't be shocked if he was comparable to Mostert in touches this week.
Pose a question to you. Would you start Wandale over Jeff Wilson, or would you start?
No, I would start Jeff Wilson.
Now, in my situation, knowing that if I take Jeff Wilson off my IR and I have to drop 2 players,
well, then I would start Wandale. But I think if you guys have Jeff Wilson available on your waiver wire before these games kick off, go get him, because he might end up being the biggest waiver out of the week.
I think there's a real possibility he is, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I mean, dude. I wouldn't be shocked at all if we get Raheem Mostert 57% of the snaps and Jeff Wilson 43%.
And all the goal line work.
Yeah. Like, it wouldn't shock me at all. So, should I drop Deontay Johnson for Hollywood? Dude, Hollywood's on your waiver wire.
Yes, all day.
Yeah, I would drop. I don't want to drop Deontay. Can I drop Kareem Hunt for him?
Can I drop Kareem Hunt?
Yeah.
Literally, though. That's
Go get Hollywood Brown. If you have to drop Deontay, then do it. But I want Hollywood for sure.
Yeah. Should I start Okay. I mean, it's the troll from earlier, but appreciate the super chat. Should I start DiVirgilio, Deontay, or Foreman? Dude, I saw a bunch of them talking about it in the chat. I searched up fucking DiVirgilio, and the first thing that shows up is some random Ontario 21-year-old hockey player that plays defense. So, Yeah, fair play. If that's what you're talking about, shout out there, Gabe. Deontay or Foreman at the flex. I'm gonna go with Foreman.
I would go Deontay Johnson, I think.
Really? Half
I think
PPR?
technically also, is this a question of two guys with the same name spelt completely differently? Because I've always wondered the way that Deonta Foreman's name is spelt. I've always wondered if it's pronounced Deontay.
Dude, I have no
Because it's
clue.
Deonta. But I'm like, I wonder if his name is actually pronounced Deontay and he's just never corrected anybody.
Brother, go ahead. There
Anyways,
must be
Kelsey's
an
my
inside.
starting. Okay, like he's just. I feel like this is a troll, but
I will appreciate the super chat, brother. Spicy's just
Spicy
enjoying it.
Bro is pegged to troll.
Well, yeah, fair play. That's I love the inside jokes though. I fuck with it. Rashad White or Addison? Addison.
Ugh.
Rashad White
I'll take
sucks.
Addison, but I don't love that question.
At the end of the day, one's good at football, one stinks at football.
He doesn't stink.
He stinks.
He's
Dude,
not good at running in between the tackles. And I will tell you right now, there is no worse interior offensive line at run blocking in the NFL right now than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We cannot run up the middle to save our fucking lives.
No, it is fine. Anytime that you can have a running back that is not good at running the ball, like that's pretty ideal for an offense.
Yeah, dude. He runs patiently, but he doesn't know how to do it. And also our offensive line isn't good enough for him to do it. So it's just a horrible combination altogether.
Yeah, for real. Hey, in the NFL, they do not stink. Relative to
They're better than
peers.
us. Yeah, absolutely. They're much better athletes than we'll ever dream to be, but they stink relative to NFL players.
Hey, brother, I can call Rashad White inefficient all I want. Doesn't mean I'm going to go on an NFL field and rush for more yards per carry than him. It's just a fact.
Yeah, like if we ranked the starting running backs around the NFL, I would confidently put Rashad White near the bottom of the list.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what's going on in the chat right now, by the way. I'm actually like stunned.
Jeff Wilson or Ford. I would roll with Jerome Ford there. Malik, yeah. Brandon Powell. Oh my God, what a disgusting decision. Just give me the upside that Sky Moore does something, I guess.
God, ew. Gave up Waddle and Ingram for JT and Freiermuth.
Freiermuth is on IR, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that kind of whatever.
I mean,
if you need a running
this is
back,
almost a decent trade package for JT, though. I think this is probably still
fair. Yeah, fair.
Give me the Browns D. Campbell. Should I start Flowers or Addison? I would start Zay Flowers there. Fims need a punter to go get Mahomes. He punting today. Glad you're better, Danny. What?
I think it's a meme because remember a couple weeks ago I had the flu.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Yeah. Freeman or Craig Reynolds? Ugh. Who would you start here? Reynolds? I'll take Craig Reynolds. He could fall ass backwards into the end zone.
We're getting some disgusting questions today.
You know what's even more disgusting about this question? Both of these guys are top 36 running backs for me this week.
Real. We got a super here from JT07. He says Christian Watson and Addison for Hollywood in a full PPR. Give me Watson and Addison pretty easily.
Also, one of my buddies, I won't say who, but his girl hit him in the face because she was pissing him off, like he was pissing her off or whatever. And he just put it in the chat and he goes, "Nobody makes me bleed my own blood." I just thought it was hilarious.
Bro, shout out to the reference.
Man, anyways, not that I'm condoning that, but I thought
by the way,
the reference was funny.
Yeah. Bro, dodgeball is an all-timer.
Yeah, it's a great one. Watson or plus Addison for Hollywood full PPR. Oh, give me dude. I would rather have Watson straight up over Hollywood rest of the season, and I think you could make the argument you'd rather have Addison straight up too.
Yeah. By the way, you got me for a little bit, right? I can set my lineups.
Yeah. Set your lineups, and you sound stunned to begin with, so I'll cover you for a bit.
I'm honestly just enjoying the fucking ride right now. I'm just
Sky Moore or Braxton Berrios. Imagine being down this bad. Sorry, Bailey, but I would go with Sky Moore, I guess.
I actually can't process the questions right now. I'm sorry. Braxton Berrios versus Sky Moore. What have we come to 7 weeks into
this football? Is where we're at as a society.
This is where we're at, man. Yeah.
Godwin, Terry, or Addison, pick two.
Terry.
I'm sitting Godwin, I think.
I think I have Terry the lowest. Let me check. Yeah, I have Godwin over Terry.
Or no, I do have Godwin over Terry. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So I'm going Godwin and Addison there.
Flowers or DJ Moore? I have Flowers ranked higher.
Yeah, I have Flowers ranked higher as well.
for sure.
Joe says AJ Dillon, Justice Hill, or Algier in full PPR. I got Justice Hill pretty easily, especially in full PPR.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones, Hollywood Brown, or Addison for the flex. Ugh.
Sitting Addison.
Probably Aaron Jones is the guy I'm going with here.
Oh, it's one. Aaron Jones,
Yeah.
easily. I thought it was sit one.
Well, I think Hollywood and Aaron Jones is a conversation. I was going to sit Addison for sure, but Hollywood versus Aaron Jones is a conversation full PPR.
I'd go Aaron Jones personally.
Yeah,
If you're not starting Aaron Jones this week, when are you starting him?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Waddle or Pittman at flex. I'm going Waddle there. Lucas.
Yep.
Miami has a cupcake schedule, has had a cupcake schedule. I mean, Miami is also just a really good offense. Like, I mean, I think they'll be good regardless of who they're playing. Bruneel says, do I start Josh Downs or JSN? I would roll with JSN, to be honest.
Sure. By the way, trying to set my lineup right now is a joke.
Yeah, you're good, bro.
Sorry.
Daryl Henderson, Elijah Moore, JMO, Osborne. Pick one. I would go with Elijah Moore, Canal, knowing that that Watson's back. I think I'm rolling with him.
Yeah.
Moss or Devontae Smith. Give me Devontae Smith. What the hell? Jason Kelsey outperforming Travis this week.
Points per tone set.
Yeah, love the stream, guys. And PPR got two questions. Okay, I don't know where Benjamin's. Okay, so he's got Gabe Davis or KJ Osborne at wide receiver, and then Laporta. So yeah, Davis, and then I would roll with Laporta over those other options at the flex, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I would have that.
Romeo Dobbs or Sam Laporta in the flex spot.
Laporta.
I'll take Laporta, but I actually really like Dobbs this week. So
I do, but at the same time, Laporta also got 11 targets last week.
Deshaun Watson or Love. I will take Jordan Love this week. I actually really like Jordan Love against the Broncos. Deshaun Watson or Geno. I will take Geno Smith there. Bailey, should I drop Warren for Jeff Wilson?
Yes.
Yes. I wouldn't drop Warren. I would rather have Warren, to be honest.
I would rather have Jeff Wilson.
Warren has been like a top 24 running back every week this year.
He's been really good, but at the same time, if an injury happens to Najee Harris, Jalen Warren's not winning your league. If an injury happens to Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson can win your league.
I guess, but A-Chain's going to be back in week 11.
Sure, but at the same time, he's still out-touched Raheem Mostert down the stretch last year. He still has potentially the goal line role for an offense that should score 30, 35 plus points per game. I just think the process here for Jeff Wilson is a higher implied value than what Warren represents.
Yeah, I would say if it's a shallow league, then definitely I'm fine with it. But if you need the depth, I'm cool holding Warren there for the time being.
Now, is there a chance you can just get both? If you could
drop somebody else, that would definitely be better.
For sure. Being in 20 leagues right now is insane.
Yep. Okay, we got some supers. I'll go down to those here. Danny, I quite admire your dedication to the bulk.
Appreciate that.
Your man says this guy's paying to troll again.
Yeah. I mean, shout out. Hey, fucking the numbers are speaking for themselves. So we take it.
AJ says Amari Cooper or Jonathan Taylor in the flex for PPR.
Cooper and PPR.
I think I'd take Cooper, dude. It's a really tough matchup for Taylor.
Yeah, I'd go Cooper. I mean, the Browns are literally the toughest matchup. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're actually a little easier against the run than they are against the pass, but that is a tough question.
Technically, they're a run funnel.
Technically, yeah, they're still really good against the run though.
Yeah.
JSN, Warren, Hunt start two. I'll do the first two there, Jared. I'm sitting Kareem Hunt there. James Cook or Gibbs. We already answered that, I think, but give me Jahmyr Gibbs. Joe asked this question 60 million times. Don't do that. That's where I'm at with this. Okay, yeah, these guys are talking to each other. Elijah Mitchell or Craig Reynolds. With McCaffrey playing, I think I roll with Craig Reynolds, to be honest.
Deshaun or Sam Howell. I'd actually go Sam Howell this week.
Yeah, agreed.
Though I will say the implied points, the favorites, the process probably Watson, but at the same time, he's coming off of this rotator cuff injury. I don't exactly know what his range of motion is going to be, and I just kind of want to play it safe when it comes to him. I don't want to throw it into my lineup right away. Not to mention, we're not even guaranteed he just performs at his level because Deshaun Watson's kind of been spotty all year.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, okay, Spicy, I need you to monitor something for me. The anytime touchdown bets, again, leave them down below in the chat. I'm going to pair that with the Wan'Dale Robinson 50 plus alternate receiving yards, and I'm going to do a 4-leg parlay. So I need 3 players to score a touchdown today in the next couple minutes, and I will put $10 on that, and we'll see if we can hit a nice little $300 bet or something. So if you guys like somebody to score today, leave it down below in the chat, and I will put them in.
By the way, you want to know what my quarterback 2 is this week, or not quarterback 2? my quarterback core, first of all, in a tanking dynasty team this week is literally Clayton Tune and nobody else because Garoppolo's hurt, Prescott's on bye, and Daniel Jones is hurt. And my running back core, I have Chris Evans at RB2 because David Harris is on IR. And again, I'm tanking. I have 6 ones in 2024, 5 ones in 2025.
Yeah, I'm starting Zonovan Knight in CEH in one league.
Not bad.
Love that. I think Zonovan Knight might be on IR, to be honest, but he's my only other. Like, I literally only have those 2 running backs on my entire roster because I'm tanking.
Real quick, does Stroud to drop Stroud to pick up Kyler off waivers before game start? They're like similar range for me rest of the season.
I would say if you need a upside quarterback rest of the season, I would prefer Kyler. Yeah. But if you're, and especially if you already have like Allen or something like that, then yes, definitely. But if maybe
you have like a Dak.
Stroud, yeah, if you maybe need Stroud, then maybe I wouldn't do that. But I still think I generally lean yes. I would probably drop Stroud for Kyler.
Yeah, I would agree. You have where we left off.
Okay, so we're seeing Rice, Pickens, National Tight End Day, Watson, Lamar, Jacobs, JSN, Andrews, Logan Thomas. Okay, so I'll build this out. I'm gonna see what Jacobs' odds are because I like him to get into the end zone today as well. I'm not gonna go for like crazy out there touchdown bets. Like Rice is pretty crazy out there in my opinion. Jacobs is a -110. I think I like that, so I'll put that in there. Who else do we got here? National Tight End Day, Andrews. Let's see what Andrews' thing is here. Mark Andrews. Where are you, Baltimore game? Okay, Mark Andrews is anytime touchdown. He is +220. That's kind of good odds for him. And yeah, I'm also going to sprinkle in one of my own here. I like Brian Robinson to find the end zone today, so I'm going to sprinkle him in there as well. So this will be a how much should I put down here? $10 to win $355. Let's go a little gutty here. We're gonna go $25 on this. Wandale 50+ receiving yards. Brian Robinson anytime touchdown. Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown, and Mark Andrews anytime touchdown. And I'm gonna put down 25, and that'll win $890.
Good luck.
If you guys want to tail it for like $5 or whatever, you can by all means. I did just say I was taking a betting break. You are correct. I said I was taking a betting break from betting on all of the games because honestly, like it made me enjoy Sundays less because I'm like trying to track 60 million things going on. If I just have like one bet, then I'm like cool with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. That's every gambler's rationale. I'm kidding. Sorry, freaking I have 2 lineups left.
Okay, let me see if we got any other supers under the wire. Doesn't look like we did.
We're all caught up there.
I'll try and get back up to the top here, see if we can get back to what we were at. I think I may have lost it, to be honest. Hold on.
Oh, gee, bro.
Yeah, I definitely lost it. So I did lose the spot we were at, unfortunately.
By the way, it's week. What's it called? It's a bye week hell in fantasy football when literally this is what your bench looks like.
Yeah, that's classic.
That's a redraft league, dude.
It also, it looks like we got, I would say just giving us 2s is probably smart because we got like 1, 2, 3 from people, and then we got a 2 from somebody. So I'd say just give us both 2s for Amari Cooper and Tyler Lockett on the going nuts pick here. So I'm going to do my best to get to 12 p.m. here because I did actually find the recent spot. We got AJ Dillon, Justice Hill, Algier. I'm going Justice Hill. I think I answered that actually already.
Yeah.
Need some QJ signs, man. Yeah, me and you both.
Yeah, we do.
Dynasty. We starting Jeff Wilson. I mean, depends who over. By the way, I love your name, Janky. That's hilarious. Running back hell out here. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Tutu or Logan Thomas full PPR.
I'd go Ingram.
Yeah, I actually don't mind Tutu as well. I think I would go Ingram as well, though. I would drop if you already have a solid tight end, I'm fine dropping Logan Thomas for Ingram there.
Yeah. Tutu, it's a little bit concerning because he's still getting the same routes, but as soon as Cooper Kupp came back, like his
I know it's just the targets are not going around. Right. I will say like Tutu will probably have some games still where like Puka maybe has a bit of a down game or like Kupp only gets like 7 targets instead of 16 or whatever he gets every game.
But real quick, by the way, I love how Matthew Stafford just bucks every trend when it comes to like, oh, this quarterback's not just going to suddenly go down the pecking order and target this guy. Matthew Stafford is the exact opposite of that embodiment where like, it doesn't matter who's on his depth chart. Who's his 1, who's his 2, who's his 3. They'll get respectively 12 targets, 9 targets, 3 targets.
Matthew Stafford might be one of the greatest fantasy quarterbacks for wide receivers
You
that
know
has
what
ever
he's
lived.
doing, bro. He's throwing it to his top guys, no matter what.
He might be the best fantasy quarterback
Dude.
for fantasy football wide receivers that's ever existed.
Dude.
Like Calvin Johnson's seasons, we saw them. Cooper Kupp's 2021. Like he is the GOAT of getting the ball to the fantasy football wide
They
receiver.
could be rolling out Jalen Reagor as his wide receiver 1, and he would find a way to get him 12 targets.
He would, yeah. He would. Where there's a will, there's a way for him right there.
Amen. Yeah, you got where we left off though.
Yeah, I mean it's 1 p.m. So we're gonna sign off here again. Hopefully, you guys got your questions answered. Apologies if we did not get to you, but as always, you can reach out to us on Twitter or Discord if you have a question about the 4 p.m. games. We have a private live stream every Saturday for Flock Fantasy subscribers, and we are very much able to get to all of those questions. So if you want to save yourself some money on super chats, you can get access to all of our rankings, weekly rankings, rest season rankings, all that good stuff, plus addition to that private live stream, so you guys can some tune in with that. So good luck to everybody this week. Again, if you want to detail the bet, it's probably too late now, but the bet is Wandale 50+ receiving yards, Brian Robinson anytime touchdown, Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown, Mark Andrews anytime touchdown, and the odds final on that are like plus 3,500 or something like that. So good luck today. Hopefully no major injuries happen, because that is brutal.
Take care.